Hi. Or do I really want to say hi? I am out stranded on the West Coast because of budget car rental. They did surprise hoes, and then when you tell them about them, they like to act like they don't know what words mean or the sentence mean that you tell them. So I'm gonna give this to you in chronological order because I am on a tight schedule. Um, I had some people that were courteous to assist me with some of my arrangements. Um, and this is intentional. Don't just hear me, Google it. And I wish I would have Googled it more, but let me give you the synopsis of how we got to budget car rental. I called their customer service in person for several times over a month to get their rates, get their policy and procedure. Matter of fact, literally 4 months. But really more consistently within the last month of October. I called them over and over, everything about their fine print, everything about situations that I was aware of from what came up on the internet search, from what I searched at that time. Now notice everybody's computer can show up different or whatever like that, depending on where you're at, whatever like that. So don't know, you all have the best how to work these sunlight. Yeah, I know I ain't no old lady in geometry, but this is more about the message. um they have, you know when I went to go get my, and the reason why you can't buy your tickets ahead of time is because they don't like to give refunds. So that's why. So I had a price range of what they did. So what I did, I had twice that amount, but I had it on two different whatchamacallit. But because I had used the way they do it is these car companies, they trick you. So let me I'm gonna start off first with how I got started. I already gave you most of the information. I got started off with them, and I do want to add about that previous information. Me calling them, everything like that. I had totally forgot that I had ever used them. This was over 12 years ago or something like that. I had no problem. The deposit came back in an approximate amount of time. Uh, this was over 12 years ago. The rate went just as it, was listed. And I don't even recall whether it was on the internet or phone. However it was done, the rate went exactly like that. This was over 12 years ago. I believe, I don't know if the nephew, the cousin, or some buyout party has taken over that company. I don't even recall people that used them complain about them um, 15 years ago. So it dawned on me after a while looking through different companies and reading their policy and see how they conflict. And I also saw a YouTube video about, when they got audited by the Federal Trade Commission and stuff like that. And it's somehow, even though they got audited, if it's not the Federal Trade Commission, it's one of those similar, commissions. You get what I'm saying? Judicial or, legislative, executive, one of them. And even though they have you sign paperwork and it's like they do a piece of it, but they're still uh, pulling tricks. So when a person plan a trip, and it shouldn't be to where you have to be a millionaire or where you shouldn't go if you're not a millionaire, and that's how they talk to you, like you're not a millionaire, so we do what we want to do. This is all after the fact, staying on the phone literally with them and getting transferred from person to person for hours, hung up on. I see the same reviews that are online after the fact of this, what I am experienced with budget car rental. Uh, this is totally ridiculous. So I will be 3 days um, out in the West before I can even get back out toward my way because I have to take an alternative way. So it isn't, I'm not coming on here to say I don't have nothing. The thing is, good, I did do things the way I did, and um, I have to use other forms of of transportation and go by their price and the schedules that they have, and along with having a disabled loved one that is very athletic. And they took out of over $300 against my account, unauthorized. And I'm going to start from the first transaction. And the reason why, within a 1 week period, and because they get there and they do these holes, they lie to you and everything like that, they have it so where you have to go back to them and redo the service with them. Um, right away, and then trying to research another company, and then they're not specific on their stuff, and then getting stuff restarted back. And this is the same company that want to tell you about fast break, where you go get in the car and you have a credit card on file, and you're gonna find yourself, you won't be able to pay your house note. You know what I'm saying, you're gonna find your credit score not affected. And if you go on Twitter right now onto um the SOTBP conference page, you will see a reply that they have replied to us, in regards that it does not affect your credit score when they put holes on your account. So I'm going to start off with the first incident, so this here doesn't get all jammed up. I'm not into that summary essay stuff because people act like, 2 plus 2 equals 3 or 5. So the first incident, it started where I had booked it a few weeks in advance. And I also had booked the third, what I'm on now, several weeks in advance too. But I believe I booked this one here first before I follow up and I book this one, the first one. If I not last, no, I booked it first. Yeah, I booked this here trip first, and then I follow up with that one because I have to do it around the caregiver schedule, and other stuff come up, and they don't like to give refunds for stuff. So I had prepaid for it, and I asked the customer service. As I told you, I called several times a month before, and I asked the customer service, I said, well, if the rate changed, can I get modifications for it? They told me, yes, you can get the modifications for it. And this here, having to document down everything, you know, every transaction you do in life, that's why don't ask for my email. Don't ask for me to do business with you if you're not going to be 99% plus or N99, okay? Yeah, you're just doing all this super unforgivable, just being trashy. No, that's not going to be my law of attraction. As long as I get there and, not go as heavy as I have to go about it. Um, no, that's not gonna be my law of attraction. So definitely, hopefully you all are listening to this here to understand that. Turn that water off right now and come sit down. No, don't drink water out the fountain. Sit down. We're gonna get some water. So, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you mess up my schedule, you mess up everything else. And when I go, okay, so in between that time, the rate did show lower, and it was for 30 something dollars, and it was a few hours before the day I was supposed to pick up my car, not yesterday, but the Friday before yesterday. And the rate, it was 30 something dollars. It was going to show me a $20 credit. It did not come to my email. So when I went there this morning, and I'm sure they got cameras there because it's at the airport. They was like, well, we don't have it in our system, and you don't have the email or screenshot. And this was between staying there for 30 minutes minimum, back and forth with them. Then they swipe your card before you give them permission to swipe it. I said, wait. I didn't give you the card to actually swipe it. Now I asked you, I say, tell me how much it is. And they do it, they're just very cunning. And I said, before you swipe it, I said, no, I told you before you swipe it, tell me how much the authorization is. I say, look, I am on a tight schedule. I need you to tell me with the authorization the exact amount. Now I called customer service before this happened, and I said, what is the exact amount? He said it'll be $100. I said, is that $100 additional to the fee, or will that be $100 even? Oh, it'll be $100 even out of the $50. It was a 50-some dollar rate that I had paid for. Um, that was the first time, and I was told any modifications that I need to do could be done. So when I go to the counter, she told me, she said, oh, well, I won't know how much the authorization is until after it run through. I said, no, 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 I didn't give you permission to swipe that. I said, no, you can't do that. I said, you're doing that because I am in a hurry, and then you're also doing that because you see that, someone else is real active. So that's the way they more so get over on you. And then because it's transportation, you know what I'm saying, you're in a rush. That's how it is. You gotta be just like the bus gotta leave when it gotta leave. That's how your life is. And she come back, she said, oh, I won't know. I said, you won't know? I said, well, I need to speak to the manager. Oh, well, we won't know what it is. Oh, but it said it took $100. I said, is it $100 even, or is it $100 additional to the fee? She said, oh, it's just $100. I said, oh, so it's gonna come out that 52, or it's gonna be additional to it? Oh, it's just out of the 50, it's gonna be the 52 is gonna come out that 100. I said, why isn't that in writing on here? I'm in a, I can't keep. I've already argued with them 30 minutes. I was like, well, look, can you get a supervisor? So the woman that was a supervisor there, she's saying that, oh well, it that's how the system is. Nothing we could do about it, and you don't have proof of the rate and so forth like that. Then get to the vehicle. It got like crumbs on the door handle, some kind of, I don't know, yellow stuff. I don't know whether it's I don't know, some kind of residue. It got some kind of cookie crumbs on the top seat, top of the car, and then it was a red car. Then it was dented up at the back rear bumper. And good, I did not put the key in the ignition. So before someone's like, oh, well, you sure you didn't put no, I didn't put the key in the ignition. I walked around the car because that there let me know I couldn't trust them. And I came back and I have it written on paper. Matter of fact, let me show you that I have it written on paper. Since you gotta have paper with everything you're traveling. Look, this is how much paper. This is how much paper I got dealing with this company this week, taking notes. Look, paper. Matter of fact, that's not all of it. Here go another sheet of paper. Look how much paper I gotta travel behind me to my bag lady with all this paper. But so let me show you. I'm not gonna show you everything that may have my personal information on it. But I'm gonna show you the part where it was initial. So I'm gonna show you the part where it was initialed. These are frauds. These are big frauds. There's no opinion about they are frauds. So this is. I don't want you to see all my personal information, direct information. It's the fact of what I said. So it was notated about the right dent on the car and stuff like that. The dent on the right, and it was a red car. So I go to the bank right afterwards, and I went in. And I told them about it. I was like, look, how much? They told me that they were only going to take $100 out. I asked them specifically, and it's on their cameras at the airport. I asked them specifically if it's going to be additional or in that amount. They told me it was going to be that amount flat. I said, and I said, it seems as though, this is continuous. I say, so I said, well, what is my, so the more it holds up your balance because they said, well, this here is not showing as $100, and it's not showing. It's showing as though you only have the available, the fee that they charge plus the $100. I said, well, no, that's not what they told me in person, and it's not written on this paper here. I said, it's not even written on the internet. When I went to the bank, And it was a conversation back and forth and so forth like that. So they was like, well, you have to talk to the car. I was like, I've talked to them. I'm telling you that, and this is I'm gonna be repeating that over and over because that's what they do. Send you in circles. The bank send you to the company send you back to the bank. I don't have the time for all that. And many that crowns and riches aren't promised. They aren't promised. Doesn't matter how you think. Exactly what what I'm saying. You're gonna have to pay for what you did, and there's a difference between those that just end up in bad luck, and then there's those that are just do it. I don't even use the word luck. Okay, let's not put luck and bad together. Just end up in bad. So yeah, it's very much a trying time. Um, So, the bank, I'll go to the bank and I go back to the car rental when at the end of the car rental, and it's a bunch of, like I said, playing with me, call customer service. I so they held me up because, see, if they would have just took the $100 out, and especially with, me having to do I had to go other spots, so I had the budget plan with a little flexibility, in case something happened to be able to, do something. But because they did that, I wasn't able to go start off my transaction, um, as I already made the reservation that I'm on now. Um, that has been within the last 4 days, but I've only used 3 of those days. Um, for the last transaction I'm talking about. So getting back to that transaction, and it's just back and forth. It's nothing but just going back and forth with them. They're playing games with you. Then they want to tell you, well, this is how we do it. It is on the site. No, it's not on the site. You're a lie, because I read the fine print, and if you go through this channel, you would know. Yeah, she did the fine print. Their site times out on you after a minute or two. There are other car rental sites that do it too. So I really suggest that you go over to the SOTBP conference page, because we definitely, several of us that are journalists would definitely um, be throughout the site, and definitely, yeah, they this here guys, you can't be doing anyone that. It doesn't matter whether it's Donald Trump, Bill Gates, um, Loretta Devine. It doesn't matter. A regular JoJo, Pookie, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't do that to anyone. Mm-mm. No, no, no. So the second trip, I got booked at a $14 rate, and they had a catastrophic event. I left an hour and a half early, and I was 20 minutes from the bridge. So this is where I had to catch the mega bus and so forth like that. And the mega bus, even with it being a catastrophic event in the area, on the that was all on the radio on the East Coast. They wouldn't give me a refund for that, so that's something else. I had to get there and shell out of pocket to get to the destination, so that I would miss um my next meeting, flight and meeting. I had to get there and take another route, and that's why sometimes you have to put a lot of space, because things happen. These airline, these different transportation companies, oh, they're not forgiving. It could be they could be them blew up. Okay, ain't gonna get paid well from the government, very much like the banks. Gonna get paid very well from the government for whatever catastrophe, and pay from the insurance company too, tax deductions, all of that, and they won't even give you a credit, because did they get there and give a credit to people who lost their homes? Did they give them a credit for that? um this is ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. So go to the budget car rental, drop the car off. So the plan was to go from there to the bus station. It was on the exact same street. I was 20 minutes away when I'm sitting on top of the bridge for an hour and a half. 20 minutes away. Probably less than that or around that, but I was an hour and a half early sitting on the bridge. And so let's start first with the budget car rental and stuff like that. I called them several times while sitting on top of the bridge while traffic was in standstill. And I told them that, hey, there's been a catastrophic event. I am going to do my best to get there, but there has been a catastrophic event that is, I said, I'm not involved in it. I'm just happen to be following behind it. They told, well, yeah, we understand, so forth, like that. Um, so go check out, and so, I'm trying to get to the station, even though I'm late. It's like, hey, they got to be giving refunds. So I go talk to the megabus. The megabus, she gonna say that she was late for work. So you late for work, but you still got your job. But all I'm asking for is a credit. Even if I could just use it within the next 30 days to 6 months. So I had to have alternative. I had to get there and use funds out of my budget for alternative transportation. Not to add, I was trying to do a little shortcut, budget round thing. Next time I'm going to get pay for the carry-ons. I'm going to do that next time. That personal fare thing is not gonna do because I had the garbage bags. I had like these. Now the garbage bag did good, in the house and stuff like that, and did good with some good furniture and to walk it to the garbage can. But it ain't do good on this travel here. So I lost clothes. I lost my hair oil. So you could, I'm like, ugh. So lost my hair oil. Lost I just lost a lot of stuff. Good, it was none of this work that I showed you, and good, I put that in my directly on me. Good, I did. Because I would have lost that also and not be able to really. I just be telling this here and you'll be hearing it. So we caught another. I really don't have like the nothing much right now in this video to say about the next transaction that we did. I don't have much to say about that. I don't have much, we did that and I'll talk about that part later. So, next thing comes the next step, going back into budget car rental here on the west side, on the west. And trip totally interrupted. I was on the phone 4 or 5 hours a day. When I got there, no. I need to start because I did the 14.9 when I picked the car up and I returned it back, and the bus station was right down the street from the car rental place. So that was the second transaction, okay? So the third transaction was when I was out, being here out in the west, and it's not even in this region, it's the next region over. So I got there and yeah, it is in this region. What I'm talking about. Yeah, it is in this region. It's in this region. And I asked before, I said, well, hey, I have an order. It's like, oh, well, show me your ID and your credit card. I said, hey, well, before you swipe it, can you tell me what is a security deposit? He said, oh, well, I won't know after I until after. So I said, what? I was like, no, can you tell me before you swipe it? So I was like, here go my ID and my credit card. So he took it and he just swiped it without my permission. That is the third time that has happened to me, and that is across the country on budget. So budget corporates train and intentionally hire these employees or folks to do what they do. Because this ain't coincidentally happening two different on the east and the west, and they doing the exact same things. They're manipulative with what you tell them. They do nothing but lie. So I was like, wait, hold up. I didn't give you permission to swipe that. I said, you didn't even answer my question of how much is the authorization. Well, I won't know until afterward. Same similar stuff. Now here I'm on the other side. And also notice, because I just dropped off at the other area, they still have my they still have it to where it didn't fully whatchamacallit, and I already made a reservation, and something major was going on in that area where all the car rentals in that town were in the whole city were full. So know how you don't want to get stuck out too much anywhere, and you know it's hard to just say, oh well, go, you could have no. I was at a place that had 7 different car rentals, and because I already had this reservation and so forth like that, as you go back to the beginning of the video, what I said, and I am disgusted with folks that get there and you could tell them stuff and then they want to get there and they suggest that what you told them you did before they repeat it to you. Manipulation. um so he brings out the paperwork. I'm like, well, how much is the deposit? Oh, it didn't take no deposit. Nothing's on the paperwork. Matter of fact, let me show you that paper. 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 And it's going to show you that these are numbers of crooks, and that's what they are. Super crooks. Now, see, I got all, see all that paperwork I got to go through? This video is real long, but this take like 30 minutes. I want to show you exactly what the bottom. Now this here part, I want you, if you can read this here, that's at the bottom here. This is one of the people I spoke to days afterwards. Now this here comes after you didn't sign the paperwork and it reprints out again. This here line here, this is the deceptive they do. Now let me show you the ones that got my signature on it. It doesn't have that at the bottom of that paper. Okay. It doesn't have, but they could charge you additional fees afterwards. If you can really see. You know, you're gonna have to stop and look at it. Um, that's just 2 different papers that you get from them. It has nothing about the exact security deposit in writing. It has nothing on their websites, and they'll do nothing but manipulate and lie. I was on the phone with them literally for 4 hours back and forth. Somebody named Laquita Harris. I'm gonna give their emails out. Matter of fact, on the next update email that I do with y'all in a few hours later on, when I get a more resting place, I will be giving you out their email addresses. But Patricia Hoffman, I have her name written down because she was the one that came on. So the next is a 3 day span of every day calling customer service, like, hey, this is not right. I was like, look, I was told, and I'm calling to verify what was charged on my last deposit. I called the bank. The bank told me an additional $200 was held. I said, well, I said, I did 3 rentals this week, and I asked at the last place, I said, what is the additional hold? I said, it's on camera. And they told me, and they was like, oh, well, you have to talk to, I said, wait. I just told you I did that. I told you I've been on the phone with them. And you going to send me back? Well, it's not. And then, still sending, so you know how they going to soon be gone with them. They will be put on blast shortly, too. Definitely when I settle in, they will be put on blast along with the company, the financial institution that is refusing to. I mean, you can proactively, cordially advocate for me to at least get a credit because I did not receive the service. And if I'm leaving my money with you as a legal institution where I am being tracked and all that kind of stuff, that's why you can't go cashless. Cause you would get you would get shocked, okay? You would get status down, fire electrocuted, and everything else. You can never go cashless. You will always need cash. Cash and coins, at least coins. You're gonna always need that. The dollar may value, but you're gonna always need. You need to always keep some coins on you. And so I'm at the soon in this here because I have to get there and I have to check out and um I'm getting a shuttle to my next place to catch the next one to the next region over. So I will be in transportation mode for 3 days. But let me tell you the last thing: return the vehicle back. And y'all know how they end up. So those of you that know me already know the deal. You know they got there and they call 911 on ya. No, you don't play about my money, and you don't play about mines, okay? You don't play with mines, and don't get there and come at me as those untrustworthy people that work with that mistreat the elderly and mistreat children and stuff like that. Because yeah, you call it you call it Black Panther, you call it what the fuck you want, but yeah, they did that. So you asked for whatever you got. I got the text message. Matter of fact, let me pull this text message out. On the phone. I had the bank on the phone for them to release the transaction. They refused to release it, saying they didn't get paid their money, which was a lie. The woman at the bank, he told me, oh, I don't understand. Then he won't play games on me too. Talking about, oh, I don't understand what she's saying. I said, well, I need to release the money. I returned the car back. I said, well, you all told me it was no deposit. And here it is. I need to release something. Well, we haven't got paid our money. She said, I asked her, I said, well, yeah, I rented 3 times. And she said, oh, no, she said it's one rental a week. And I really, that woman wanted to get there and play hands with that guy so she could keep the money. And she didn't want to do the paperwork for me and playing all kind of tricks for me not to file a dispute. But your institution will be put on blast also. So guess what? Yeah, it could be 10 of y'all that did me wrong. I'm putting y'all on blast, especially when you go out the way to show me that um, that's what you're gonna do. Um, I want to show you all the message that the car was returned on yesterday, and I have to get on out of here. So here it is, right here, the message. Let me show it to you all. The message that the card was sent, if you see the date yesterday, look. And I was calling to get it because I had to miss the next bus. I didn't order the ticket. Cause like I said, I'm having to go back and forth. Like, hey, well, I need you to release it. So because I said, look, because you got there and tied my money up and stuff like that, and the way I had, the way the budget and stuff like that, you know, you mess up my transaction, and I take that money. I still have to tend to myself and tend to my meeting and stuff like that. I know, and it said $14.99 for if you don't bring the car back on full, and I didn't bring it back on nothing because you got there and you played me. You took my $200. You did an unauthorized $200 security hoax, and car rentals are not the only ones. You go through the hotel site. You have to call the hotel before you book and ask for the security deposit because you may be planning one thing or just have that card just to do the transactions that you need to do and not know, oh, they're charging $100, they're charging a 200, 75, 25. So just imagine if every transaction, which the other transactions I confirmed before I got there and had the extra money for the holes that they were going to do, and some of them take 7 to 10 business days. So if you know a hotel that does not get there and they don't take holes or they release it back within at least automatically at midnight, one or the other, do list that below right here. Do that. I'm gonna have to get out of here, but yeah, that didn't end too well. That will be a part two. Continuing, but I already showed you that I sent that I returned the vehicle back. They charged me twice. Well, even after I returned the vehicle back, they charged me twice. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna be out soon. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. All right. So yeah, so I have to get there and go, and I'll talk to you all later. Um, this has been a journey. Budget car rental. They're the major ones. Now, Megabus, that was a smaller amount of money. And, I definitely want to credit with them because you ain't got no other choice of service to use. But Budget Car Rental, yeah, they shall be put out of business. Definitely share this video. Definitely go onto the Twitter and definitely reply. And definitely, if you have any resources so forth to assist, uh, and thank God for the ones that came in to make up the difference of what I did had and available. Um, for last night, I definitely appreciate it. We appreciate it very much. Thanks.